Okay, so you have no idea how to edit an image in Canva. That's no problem. I'm in Canva right now, and if you're not in Canva, all you need to do is go to your browser and type in Canva, and you can just click on the first link. It might then ask you to, I already have an account, so it logged in immediately, but it might ask you to sign up and make a free account, or it might even ask you to log in if you on a different browser than what you were when you previously opened Canva. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. Just do it. Just go to your browser, search for Canva, and then you'll open it. It's free. It's not gonna charge you. And now if you want to edit a photo, all you need to do is click create a design and then upload. And then I'm gonna click upload files. And if you want to do multiple files, just highlight multiple files and then click open. But today I'm just gonna do one. I'll click on this and then click open. And now if I want to open it in a particular format, in a particular, maybe I want to make a brochure, then I'm going to click on using a new design. Sorry, this dog's going crazy outside. Hopefully you're not too distracted. So if I want to make a brochure or a PDF or a website even, then I'm going to click on using a new design. Or if I'm using 5 images, multiple images, I'm gonna have to use in a new design. But I'm just gonna edit this one image because I want to be I want to get a handle on the basics of editing an image. So I'll click on edit image, and then here all my options are on the left, and I'm gonna start by cropping it. I want it to be in a 9:16 ratio because I'm gonna use this photo on Instagram, let's say on my Instagram story. So if that's the case, I'm gonna have to have it in 9:16, but there's a bunch of other aspect ratios, of course. Okay, the dogs are howling now. I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully nothing bad. Anyway, I'll go out to cropping and then click on adjust, because this is where I can change the brightness or make the colors more intense. That kind of editing is gonna happen here. I'm gonna make it a bit brighter. I'm going to reduce the contrast a bit because I want to get the full view of the beach shots. Like if the contrast is too much, you can't really see what's happening, and if it's too little, you get the full picture, but there's also just a bit too much detail missing in my opinion. I'll do that. And then highlights, you can do this if you want to add more brightness in a more targeted way, as opposed to just increasing the overall brightness. And then I'm going to reduce the shadows. If I reduce them all the way, it takes away quite a bit of detail, and if I do too much, then yeah, it's too much. It's too little shadow. I'm actually going to increase it, sorry, that's what I meant, not decrease it. Going to increase it. I don't tend to mess with whites and blacks unless it's specific photos with a lot of white and a lot of black, but for this one I feel like it's okay to just stay at 0. Like here you can see, so that adds a nice retro-y look, but that's not what I'm going for, so I'll leave that at 0. Vibrance is quite good. I feel like this adds a few things, like you can see that the colors are changing, but I feel like there's also some light work that's happening here, some changes with the light, or maybe it's only color, I'm not sure. I quite like to make this like 30 plus though. I try not to touch saturation just because I feel like vibrance really does it for me in terms of the colors. And then with sharpness, I don't like going more than 10 because it's too much. So I'm gonna leave it at 10 or 11. Yeah, I think 11 looks okay. I kind of like that, so I'll leave it at 11. Anyway, I'll go out of here, and then I'm not going to use Magic Studio in this video because that's for Canva Pro, but you can do some really cool stuff with that. Like if I wanted to completely remove one of the huts, or maybe I want to remove that guy standing there, I can do that with Magic Studio Magic Eraser. And I can even remove the background here with background remover. Again, I'm not going to do that because I don't have Canva Pro on this account. That's for a different video. There's some default filters here. Maybe you feel like you don't have the time to do all of this edits yourself, then you can just select a filter. I'm not going to select one now because, well, I can select some for you, and then just undo to undo those selects to go back to what I had before. Yeah, I don't really like the default filters, but maybe you do. And then in effects, you can add some shadows around. So like, yeah, let me do it. That's the thing about adding shadows. It's going to reduce the size of your image, but it does look pretty great if it's a product that you want to put on a website, for instance, and you want it to have a little border or a bit of shadow to give it more depth. Then shadow works quite nice. I use it all the time actually. Autofocus is if you got a lot of things happening in the picture and you really only trying to highlight one thing. So like the focus is here on the sand now, so you can just change the focus position like that, and we'll make it on the hats and at the top there. Let's see, how about that? That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. And you can of course change the blur intensity. What it's doing is just making the things that are being blurred even more blurred. That's what it's doing. Continue editing. I clicked outside here, which I shouldn't have done. Click back. Yeah, then you can add blur more manually if you click on this. I'm gonna leave that focus effect on, by the way. I quite like it, how it looks now. And then you can use blur if you want to add blur to more specific things. So let's blur out that guy. Let me click on him. Flip, I didn't mean to do that. I'll go undo, and then I'll make the brush size a lot smaller and just click on that guy. Why are you doing a whole line? I don't understand. That's annoying. Okay, I don't like that, guys. I'm not gonna make any blur changes. I'm gonna go out and click right, and then these ones are quite nice. Face retouch is quite nice when there's an actual face in. There's no face here. I'll click duotone, and I don't even know how to explain this, if I'm honest. I don't know what this is, why. I don't know. That's about it. If you want to add text, then you have to use it in a design. So like I can just click save and then download, and then I can see it downloading there in a sec, and it's gonna be, yeah, that's it. Let me add some text quickly, just in case you want to know how to do that. I'll click use in a design. Give it a second to open up a design that matches the size that I put it in. And this is where it gets good. I can add another page here and make something else, and this can be, yeah, a full-on gallery of designs that you're busy editing. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to click on something here, and then I'm going to say these are B chats. I'm going to highlight all of them and change the font to Montserrat, and I want, like, I don't want one word on a line, so I'm gonna reduce the size like that. All I did to do that was hold down the left click and then drag the box at the edge. If you want to move it around, just drag it in the, just click on the middle and then drag. And if you want to reduce the space in between the lines, then you can click on spacing and then reduce the spacing like that. And what else might you guys want to do? Tell me in the comments. For now, I'll just guess and say you want to add some cool effect to the text. You want it to look more interesting. If that's the case, click on effects there, and there's a few default effects that can make the word or the sentence look more interesting. My favorite is lift, because it actually adds some shadow around the words, making them more clear or easy to read. Yeah, I don't tend to use much of the other ones that often. I do use background often. So if you click on background, it gives them an actual background, and you can control the. What I'm trying to do here is align it to the center so you can see that line coming. I quite like when it's in the center. You don't have to do that like me. All you have to do is click on position and then click center here, and you can click middle to put it in the middle of the image, and so on and so forth. I'm not really about that right now though. I'm going to reduce this same as before. These are B charts, and I'm going to click on effects and change the color to red. Now I'm going to change it to blue. Yeah, and that's it. Now I'm going to click, I want to save this, so I'm going to click on share and download, and then I can choose what I want to save it as. I'll leave it as PNG, and I don't have Canva Pro, so I can't do anything else, and I'll click download, and it'll always save as the title here. I just made this title by default because that's what the text says. If there's no text in your image, it'll be like untitled project or something, untitled design. So you should give it a title. And now I can open it and have a look at it, and this is what it looks like. Pretty cool. And that was done in like 50 seconds. If I wasn't explaining it, it could have been done in like 50 seconds. PNG, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you. Bye.